Today I downloaded 7 different free drawing apps, actually sat down and drew on all of them, and then rated each one before putting them into a tier list. This is not a tutorial, this is not sponsored, and this is completely opinion based. So please don't come for me if your favorite app ends up lower than you expected. I decided to rate them based off the brushes, the interface, the performance, and the overall experience. But by the end of this, I was questioning my life choices, but that's kind of the point. So I suggest you take this with a grain of salt, don't take it personally, and I hope you enjoy. They're actually in alphabetical order, so I think I'm just gonna do that. Starting with Adobe Fresco. Okay, so if you can't tell, I started off with Adobe Fresco, and right away there's just a lot going on. There are so many brushes, oh my gosh. It feels like the app is trying really hard to be professional, and it just throws everything at you all at once. But here's where it started going downhill for me. I started drawing with this one pencil brush, and it was just not working. I really kept trying to make it work, and it's the more I tried, the more annoyed I got. And then at one point I just got really mad, so I scratched everything and I restarted. But another thing I noticed, and correct me if I'm blind, but I could not find a reference window anywhere. And if there is one, then this might just be a massive skill issue on my part. But if I can't see where anything is, that's kind of a problem. It's got to the point where I just started staring at the screen this actually sucks. The liquify tool also really annoyed me. It wasn't hard to find at all, but what do you mean every single time I finish liquifying something, I have to click done? You can't just keep going, and it just completely broke my flow. But then again, I might just be a spoiled brat because my glorious king Ibis Paint always comes in clutch. So, like I said before, take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt. But I will say I did enjoy the coloring to an extent. It was nice at first, but after a certain point it just started getting annoying, so I kind of just rushed it to be done. Everything did feel delayed. Choosing colors took a second or two to register. Rotating my screen felt weirdly difficult, and at some point it genuinely felt like the app was telling me not to rotate my screen. So overall, maybe all of these complaints are just me being bad at the app. But if an app makes me feel like I'm bad at art, then it's probably not great. So this is an app I will definitely not be coming back to. Okay, next up is iArtbook. First thing I noticed, there are a ton of brushes. At first I was like, okay wait, this might actually be a good app. And then I started clicking around. Why is literally everything locked? Why is everything premium? Extra tools? Premium. Basic features I thought were free? Also premium. Why is liquify premium? And then at that point, I was just sitting there why not make the entire app paid? Because this feels less like a free app and more like a demo. And the worst part is, I remember using this app 2 or 3 years ago, and I swear it was better than this. I don't remember having to pay for half of the stuff I'm locked out of now. So this was honestly really disappointing, and it genuinely sucks because the app actually has potential. The brushes are good, the interface is clean, and the performance is solid. But the paywall absolutely kills the vibe. It feels like the app is constantly reminding you that you're not allowed to have fun. So, yeah. Great foundation, but terrible execution. This is not an app I will be coming back to. Ibis Paint X. The ads. Why do the ads make the app feel so much smaller than it actually is? And since when does watching an ad only give you 4 hours? I swear on everyone's soul it used to be 21 hours or something. Holy fall off. But also, to be clear, the app is actually really good. The brushes are incredible, the customization is crazy, and this is literally the app I grew up on. Also, a lot of you guys were asking for what brush I use. I use this brush for sketching and then pen fade for literally everything else. But genuinely, my only complaint here is the ads. They're annoying, they break immersion, and they make the app feel more restrictive than it deserves to be. Everything else is still top tier, as always. Since I have nothing else to say, I just want to say something really quick. We're about to hit 1,000 subscribers and I genuinely don't know how to process that. I really thought I'd never get this far, and especially so quickly. I think right now I'm sitting at like 900 subscribers, and that number just like, it's not a lot to you, but it feels fake. Like I literally checked yesterday and I was only at 30 subscribers. So the fact that this happened so fast is just like pretty surreal. I didn't expect anyone to care this much or even click the video. And the comments, you guys are so sweet. Like I kept rereading them, which is embarrassing to admit, but they really made me feel good about myself, so thank you. I've always loved drawing, but posting it online has always been kind of like scary for me, and especially talking over it. So seeing people enjoy it or even just say something nice means a lot more than you probably think. I don't know what you guys saw in that video. I honestly found it really cringe, but like I'm so grateful you're here, and I look forward to making more of these because clearly you guys enjoyed it, so thank you. Back to the app. So right off the bat, we can only use 5 layers max unless we pay, which already feels a little bit like iArtbook 2.0. But then I realized I couldn't use Liquify. Why? Because it's a premium feature. And that was my breaking point. Because here's the thing, I literally cannot do a serious drawing without Liquify. I rely on it so much, it's actually embarrassing. So the moment I realized I didn't have it, I was literally stuck. I couldn't adjust the face, I couldn't fix proportions, and I definitely couldn't save myself. And at that point, I knew it wasn't going to be a serious piece. So the final drawing ended up looking chopped, and I want to make it very clear this was not a skill issue. This was a tool issue. And if you can draw cleanly without Liquify, then I honestly envy you. Because without it, I feel like I'm drawing with my hands tied. So here's the final piece. It looks a little cursed. Not a little actually, but we ball. And just to be clear, this app is immediately invalidated. 0 stars, no Liquify. Next. Moving on to Medibang. Visually, the app looked really professional. Like at first glance, I was like, okay, this might be good. But the second I started using it, literally, why is everything so confusing? I swear the interface just didn't want to be understood. I literally just kept clicking things and going, that did not do what I thought it would do. And I don't think there's a Liquify tool either, which already put me in a kind of a bad mood. So at that point, I kind of just wanted to get the drawing over with, which is why it was kind of lazy, and I apologize for that. Not because the app was terrible, it was actually really good, but because I was fighting with it the entire time. If you know what you're doing, you'd probably be fine. But for me, it was definitely a no. Okay, so all the recordings I had for the last 2 apps were gone because my storage was full. So I literally lost almost all of the screen recordings for the last 2 apps. And this is the only one I have. So please pretend this was intentional. But anyways, now that I've mentally recovered from that, we're gonna move on to the tier list. I'm putting all the apps into a tier list based on how they felt to use, starting with Ibis Paint X and ending with Sketchbook.